welcome back to another video here. And yes, somehow Algeria are into the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations. Don't ask me how, but we made it there. It was a roller coaster ride and I still feel physically sick. But come on, we're there. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Viva Algeria. I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe it. And I honestly recommend never watching Algeria play again, even though we're going to do it in 2 days' time because we're semi-finalists. Unbelievable. I'm speechless. I'm buzzing. I'm drained, emotionally, physically drained. That was something special. And could you imagine being in that dressing room right now? I'm going to say it for the first time. We're going to win the cup. You cannot beat that dressing room now. That dressing room is going to feel invincible. It's going to feel unbeatable. What can you do to beat this team? Nothing. You put us down. We miss a penalty. We still unbelievably shine and make it to the semi-finals. That is a special, special dressing room. Right now, they're going to feel like no one can beat them. None of you can beat us. Our name's on the cup now. But my voice is gone, as you can probably tell. For the first time, I genuinely believe that our name is on the cup. Because I can't see how we can let it go from here. This is an unbelievable squad. Who would have thought that we would have made it to the semi-finals? To the semi-finals. The best 4 teams on the continent. It's unbelievable. And I just can't see how we can look at it. We're going to feel like we can beat anyone. And why can't we beat anyone? Because a win like that, there's just so much to talk about. So let's delve straight into it. And it feels like a year ago that Feghouli gave us the lead. But it did happen in the game, I promise. Let's go right back to the start, where Belmadi picked the same team, right? And we're thinking, here we go again. Adam Winners can't make it in the team. But it's a team that's winning. It's a winning team. So why would you change a winning team? You've got no reason to change the winning team, right? So you ain't got a problem with the selection. But Algeria's struggling in this game. 5 minutes in, they hit the post. My voice is really going, by the way, from screaming and shouting. So, excuse me. This is bad, but oh, it's cracked anyway. Wow, that game was just worse. That game was worse than giving birth. I can't think of anything worse than that game. I was sick, all sorts coming out. Anyway, I still can't believe it. We're semi-finalists. Let's talk about the game. They hit the post, and people were saying Rice and Bulhi has had nothing to do with our clean sheets. This guy's a legend. This guy has made 4 saves in that first half. If it wasn't for Mbulhi, we would have lost the game. We would have lost the game. Forget penalties. That first half, he made so many crucial, instrumental saves. Just fantastic goalkeeping. And the one that hit the post was a world class. If De Gea had made that save, it would be in all the back pages on the newspapers around the world. That Mbulhi save to tip it onto the post after 5 minutes. And we were struggling. And Bensabeni was struggling. And this is where it gets interesting, because defensively, Bensabeni was all over the place. And suddenly, right, and don't ask me how, Bensabeni gets an assist. Now, even though defensively he was poor, going forward he was fantastic, and he played a brilliant ball into Sofiane Feghouli. Feghouli, of course, the only player who had scored against Ivory Coast before from this Algeria squad, and he buried it and he blashed it home. A player who I think not been rated as well as he's good at. I think Fegouli's been underrated this tournament. I think there's a few players that have done so good, but people aren't talking about them. I think Feghouli and Ben Lamry have been outstanding, but people are not talking about them. So we'll come on to that later. Great finish, brilliant finish. It meant a lot to him. And you're thinking, here we go again. Algeria have taken the lead early on in a game, and nothing's going to stop them. It's been the perfect start once again. Big call. Now, we've got VAR, but we didn't seem to have it in our favour. Yusuf Attal gets his shoulder dislocated, it seems, and the ref's not given a pen. And Attal is forced off. That's a big blow to have Yusuf Attal go off, and Zafan came on. Zafan, very experienced at this level. And then Bensabeni gets booked. So all of a sudden, you've got Zahara and Gradle running at our fullbacks. You've got Bensabeni on a yellow, and you've got Zafan on the other side. So I was worried at that stage. I was really, really worried. Just get to half-time and regroup. Is Belmadi going to stick or twist? He stuck with it. Half-time 1-0. And Bulhi's made a great save with 45 minutes from the semi-finals. And we're all sitting down. Here we go, ready for the second half. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Here we go. We've got a penalty. Bounedjah won a penalty. Bounedjah had to take it. I haven't got a problem with him taking it. He scored a penalty against Kenya. He won the pen. He was always going to take it. And he beat the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper died the complete wrong way. So all he had to do was put it into an empty net. And what did he do? He hit the bar. He tried to be clever. He smashed it. He went for the power as well as the placement, and he hit the bar. And it's the first moment of AFCON where it's gone wrong. I mean, we haven't even conceded a goal at the tournament at this point, remember, until Ivory Coast scored. So you've gone from being 2-0 up in the second half and having 1 foot in the semi-finals to being only 1-0 up and having missed a pen. And it played on their minds. You can deny it as much as you want. It was on our players' minds, that penalty miss. Okay? You could tell. The heads were dropping. And while he was dropping crosses, passes were going wrong. We were pressing less. Our heads dropped. And that's why I think Mahrez has got to be a better captain, to galvanise the players and say, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The next one will come. I don't think Mahrez led the team well there. Anyway, the Ivory Coast goal was coming at that point, and you've gone from being 2-0 up and cruising to a 1-1. The first goal we conceded from Kodja, and Bully's finally beaten. You don't feel unbeatable anymore. You're 1-1. You've got half an hour left. And at that point, Algeria, I think, were very happy to go to extra time. They went from having the chance to finish the game off from the penalty spot to being happy to go for extra time. Big risk. Now, Belmadi made 2 huge calls. 2 huge substitutions. Now, the first one to take Bounedjah off, I don't think Bounedjah off was a shock. And I think Bounedjah has been questionable at times at this tournament. I think we've been scared to say it. To bring on Slimani was the shock. It had to be Delors. Delors was the right call. Delors was the right play. To put Slimani in an AFCON quarter-final, it's not 2014, 2015, it's 2019. Now, the team's not progressive, we're still using him. Delors should have been the guy. He should have been the guy. And when Delors did come on, he did more than 1 kick than Slimani did in the entire game. We'll come on to Delors later. Big call from Belmadi to take captain off, take Mahrez off. Adam Winners on. Now, this is a sub that people wanted, and people wanted even Winners to start over Mahrez. Mahrez is undroppable, but I think it was a big call to Belmadi to take Mahrez off, who was showing Mahrez, listen, even you have to pull your weight or you're not going to be in this team. And Mahrez had 2 big chances where he didn't pass. Now, I've got a problem if you're not going to pass and score them, but he didn't even hit the target, one of them. And we're going to start asking questions, because you've got to be clinical in this tournament now, guys. This is not Kenya, Tanzania anymore, where you get 20 chances. This is Ivory Coast, Nigeria now. And Mahrez, if you're not going to pass it, mate, you've got to bury it. And you didn't. So I wasn't that surprised that Winners came on. But if Algeria would conceded in normal time, it would have been a big problem. Because you would have looked at your bench and thought, I kind of need Mahrez and Bounedjah off. And to get to the 90 minutes full time, and for Ivory Coast to see Atal, Bounedjah and Mahrez come off, they must have been very, very excited and feeling like that this was their moment. And the extra time came. Again, both teams looked very comfortable to take the shootout. Algeria dominated the ball, and Belmadi, of course, has the 4th sub, and he chooses to bring on Andy Delors. Now, we knew Belmadi was going to bring on a player that would take a pen. Delors was always going to take a pen. Forget the free kick, he was on to take a penalty. 123rd minute, Winners goes down. Delors comes on for Feghouli. Feghouli, all of a sudden, he's not going to get to take a pen. Delors steps up in that free kick and almost wins it. Could you imagine if Andy Delors had come on and scored his first ever AFCON goal with the first touch in that game, the last kick of the game, to win it? That would have been quite remarkable. And Andy has almost bent that free kick around the corner. Now it doesn't matter that he missed. It doesn't matter, because it was a free shot. I was happy Ivory Coast weren't going to get the ball back. That's my main celebration. We wasted 2-3 minutes for that free kick. So penalties come, and Ben Sabeni, left foot, and left-footed penalty takers are not always that good. That's why Mahrez isn't that good. But that's what I think. Great pen. The pens are good, and Bull he saves from Boney. Now from Boney to being that guy that broke our hearts in 2015, to him missing, the karma's come full circle. And then Belali gets the opportunity to win it. And mentally, remember, we've already hit the bar with what was a penalty that would have won us the game with Bounedjah in the game. And for Belali to hit the post, I really was thinking, here we go again. Here we go again. Because we've had the second chance to put our name in the semi-final, and we've bottled it again. And if Seri Dia had scored, thank goodness he didn't, we were in sudden death and our nerves would have been gone again. No one would have wanted to step up after Belali missed. No one wanted to be that guy. By the way, Andy Delors' penalty was unbelievable. He smashed that in. Proper Algerian, love him. We've won from Seri Dia hitting the post, and it's just pure elation. I was crying with the happy tears after sad tears from Belali's miss. And for the first time, you feel this team is unbeatable, is unstoppable, and that no one can defeat us. So we find ourselves in the semi-finals of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, and we're guaranteed 2 matches, whether it be a semi-final and a final, or a semi-final and a third place game. So those are my thoughts on the game. But I tell you what, guys, that game should be illegal to watch. That game will kill your heart. Inshallah, we can win the whole thing. That was more stressful than giving birth. And I've never given birth, so I'm not comparing the two, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, because nothing is worse than that. I feel drained. I need an Apple charger placed into me. Don't know where, but I need to recharge my batteries for this semi-final. But Algeria are semi-finalists, and now our hearts can beat normally again. Can we bring it home? Is football coming home? Because it could well be. And I'm very, very excited about this Algeria team now. Unbelievable the way it's going. And you really do feel something special. That when you get to semi-finals, you've got to be considered. Got to be considered a team that can win the whole thing. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I know the camera's a little bit different. I had a few problems. I kind of threw my camera in celebration. Because I was going to record the pens, but then I threw my camera. So, unlucky. Guys, that game was so nervous. It's worse than watching a horror film. I felt sick, honestly. I felt wee coming out. Anyway, I won't go into it. But guys, we're in the semi-finals. Comments down below. You got to like this, right? We're in the semi-finals. It's coming home. Algeria have beaten Ivory Coast.